Hey guys, welcome to Pursuit of Sound, where I share tips on more unorthodox techniques to help you make the kind of music that you want. My name is Jason. I'm based out of Chicago, and in today's video, I am putting effects inside of your delay feedback loop. Not before your feedback loop, not after your feedback loop, but inside of it. And I'll quickly explain how to do this and then get into the benefits of it and which effects, in my opinion, seem to work the best for it. So the way that you want to do this is to have a delay inside of a return track. The most basic delay is probably best because you don't want to do anything other than delay the signal, meaning the feedback on the delay should be turned all the way down. The wet-dry mix should be set to 100% wet. No filters, no modulation, or anything else. Now, what is going to make this a feedback loop is what I'm about to modify right here. This is return track A, and as you can see, it has a send that sends to track A, meaning that it will send audio back into itself. I had to enable this first. It's default to being disabled because usually feedback loops are not something that people want to have. So when I enable it, this right here is now basically providing delay feedback. So it's serving the same purpose as this, except it's here. And maybe you might be wondering, well, what's the point of this? Why use this as a feedback knob? Why not just use the feedback that's in this? Well, when you use the feedback that's set inside of here, it basically just feeds back within itself. And when it sends it out, then it's going to send it through whatever other effects that you have here. That's not what we're trying to do. When I turn it up here, it is feeding back through the entire channel. So it's basically sending it through all these effects, and then it starts back and runs through it again and again and again. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I turn on this frequency shifter, turn this down, turn this up. Press play. So you can hear that it's running through the frequency shifter, but it's only running through it just the one time. So if I turn this down, turn this up, obviously a very, very different result. So that's what we've done here. And so when this send knob is turned all the way up, it's equivalent to the delay feedback being turned up to, say, like 100%. Let me turn this down a little bit more. The signal doesn't get louder or diminish when it feeds back. It just stays consistent. But if you have an effect in the signal chain that's going to give you a little bit of gain, then the feedback is going to start to get out of hand very quickly. This is why you need to have a limiter in your effect chain here. This is crucial because it's going to protect your ears and your speakers when the inevitable happens and your signal gets out of hand. You're also going to need something that will give you additional gain control. Now, a lot of delay plugins already have gain control already built in, but I think it's important to have another one like what I have with utility here so that I can adjust it at a moment's notice. It's always there. It's assigned to a controller so that way I can always kind of maintain the level that I want. For example, if you have an effect that's going to give you gain like a saturator, it's not going to take a lot of gain for that signal to get out of hand pretty quickly. If this gives you 3 decibels of gain, that means that every time it repeats, the signal is doubling. And if the delay, and it's doubling every single time it repeats. So if the delay is set to a 16th note or an 8th note, that means it's doubling every single time it repeats. So that signal is going to get out of hand very quickly. And it's very useful to have the additional gain here to be able to keep control of that. Now, the first time you play with this, you're likely going to lose control of the signal, but that's okay. That's why you have the limiter here to keep things from getting too crazy. One way of maintaining a good level of control is what I've done here. I have all these effects. They all have wet-dry amounts routed to the controller here. as you can see right here. So if I just want just a little bit of distortion and filtering, I can do that. Not only is this an amazing improvisational tool for if I have some feedback in a live situation or something like that I want to be able to tweak for fun. The most important knob that I have is the gain right here in front, so I can always keep the levels that I want to have. So now I'm going to get into what kind of effects tend to work well inside of feedback loops. Obviously saturators and filters do. That's why a lot of delays like Ableton's Echo already come stock with it. But maybe you don't like the way that those particular filters or saturators sound. Maybe you always wanted to know what it's like to have a higher quality, fully featured saturator with multiband features, with 20 different types of saturation and tone control and stuff like that, with automation and dynamics and everything. If you wanted to know what that was like to have inside of a delay, well, now you have it. And I think that right there is worth the price of admission. That's worth going through all this trouble to begin with. So let me give you an example of what that sounds like. Turn up a little bit of saturation, a little bit of filter. There you go. Other ideal effects to put into the effects chain are usually going to be ones that don't change the signal too drastically, but can still retain a musical quality after running through that effect a number of times. Comb filters are one of those effects, and you can get that from like the phaser plugin, and that can be pretty cool. Let me show you what that sounds like. Or you can have a cabinet simulator, like the ones that come in convolution plugins. I'll let you hear what that sounds like. One of my favorites is having a second delay inside of the loop. That can be a lot of fun because if the delays are shorter and if you tweak the delay time, you can get some of that cool pitch shifting stuff that like you would normally get, but without screwing up the rhythm, since much of the rhythm is basically going to be driven by this delay and not this one. I'll let you hear what that sounds like. Okay. However, the effect that I find to be the most useful that you can put inside of a delay loop is absinthe effects. Because this has a huge variety of filters already in there, including comb, notch, bandpass, all pass, which works really good in this setting. Ring modulation, frequency shifting, pretty much all the effects that we've talked about. It's got a huge collection of them already in here. You can have multiple channels within one stereo channel, wave shaping, delay effects and stuff like that. You know, this can be really as simple or as crazy as you want it to be. I'll let you get a chance to hear what it sounds like. Okay. All right. So that's all I got for today. I think this is a topic that I could go a lot more deeper into. If you guys wanted a deeper dive, I could have a part 2 or a part 3, I'm sure. So if that's something that you're interested in, drop a comment below. And if you like what you see, please click like and subscribe, and I will see you later.